This is a special edition of KSL News.
It's a plague that kills millions every year.
We all know people that have been affected by cancer.
But through recent technology and medical advancements,
whether it's immunotherapies, targeted therapies, new forms of radiation therapy,
people are living longer and fuller lives. Join us tonight for Cutting Edge Cancer Care, a Your Life, Your Health special.
Cancer is the leading cause of death worldwide, accounting for nearly 10 million deaths in 2020 alone.
And right here in Utah, it's estimated that almost 13,000 people will develop cancer this year. But doctors and researchers on the Wasatch Front and beyond are making innovative strides forward. Tonight, we explore how new medical advancements are saving lives.
So what if you knew your chances of getting cancer were higher than most people's? Allie Davis shows how genetic testing is impacting the decisions one Utah family makes.
Whoa! Yeah!
Sometimes you find luck on your side.
Whoa!
And other times,
oh,
it's not so simple. 65-year-old Jeff Fowler was diagnosed with breast cancer last March.
You automatically go to the worst case scenario in your mind and you start thinking, wow, this is deadly.
But the real shock came when Jeff tested positive for the BRCA2 or BRCA2 gene mutation, a variant that puts him and his family members at an increased risk for certain types of cancer.
It became real when I saw the family history.
4 of his uncles died of prostate cancer and 2 of his aunts died from breast and ovarian cancer. Intermountain Healthcare genetic counselor Emily Bonham urged Jeff to invite his family members to also be genetically tested.
If you have the gene change, there will be a 50-50 chance that each of your children, each of your siblings and parents also carry that genetic change.
Hey, I have cancer. It's caused by a genetic mutation that looks like it comes through Dad.
Jeff's sister, Kathy Jensen, took the test through a blood draw.
Part of me wondered, do I really want to know?
She also tested positive for the variant.
I had a potentially 86% chance of getting breast cancer with this gene mutation.
Kathy chose to have preventative surgery.
I had my ovaries and tubes removed in August.
And is having a double mastectomy this month.
It's not an easy decision, but I don't want cancer.
Though she is nervous,
it is a big step, but it's also takes away my risks significantly.
She says the knowledge is empowering.
It's good to know because I have choices now.
We can be more proactive when you have a family history of a health condition.
Jeff's 38-year-old son, Chris Fowler, tested positive too. He has 5 boys of his own who could also be affected by the variant and is now taking actionable steps to prevent cancer.
There's things that I can do from my own standpoint to provide the best quality of life for myself and also to stay around and grow old with my boys.
Chris will start screening earlier and is adopting a healthier diet like his dad.
Many ways that they can control those factors beyond their genetics to hopefully not end up developing cancer.
Bonham says understanding genetic cause can also impact treatment.
Knowing about that genetic cause can lead to a more targeted treatment, another medication that may work better for that cancer.
Jeff had a double mastectomy and reconstructive surgery and will continue to monitor his health.
It's brought a sense of gratitude to me.
The Fowlers started a Facebook page to reach as many relatives as they can.
It's going to be hundreds of people, if even not more, over time.
In hopes that cancer doesn't have a chance.
I've decided I want to be around as long as I can, you know, and I want to enjoy life.
For Your Life, Your Health, Allie Davis, KSL 5 News.
Thank you, Allie. The BRCA2 gene mutation also puts Jeff at risk for prostate, pancreatic, and skin cancer.
Intermountain Healthcare has launched the largest DNA study in the country to help more families like the Fowlers. It's called the Heredogene Population Study. They're analyzing the genes of 500,000 people with the goal of better predicting and preventing chronic diseases like diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative disorders, and cancer. They estimate 2 to 3% of participants will be notified about an immediate health concern and can meet with a genetic counselor to make a plan. You can participate for free through a simple blood draw or for kids through a cheek swab at any Intermountain Healthcare lab.
Regular screening is also an essential tool to finding and treating cancer at its earliest stage. A dramatic rise in young people with colon cancer since the 1990s has medical experts now recommending that people of average risk should get their first colonoscopy at age 45 rather than 50. Women should also start yearly mammography screening at age 40. And if you have a history of family breast cancer, it should be even sooner.
Well, a newer and growing treatment is finding success in the fight against cancer. Doctors say it helps a patient's own immune cells recognize and attack the disease.
Heather Simonson explains how it works and how it made all the difference for a Utah man.
Yeah, it's a great view.
Rodney Henderson
It's an easy walk.
found solace on his rooftop garden.
And it's nice because there's nice flowers.
It feels great because for months, like I said, I couldn't even get out of a chair.
Rodney was diagnosed with lymphoma, a cancer of the lymphatic system.
Cancer, even the word was pretty scary.
After surgery and chemotherapy, the cancer returned. He began CAR T-cell therapy, a treatment where immune system cells are extracted from the patient and re-engineered in a lab with a chimeric antigen receptor, or CAR, a cancer-fighting agent.
It's like sending the cells off to school.
Dr. Brad Hunter with Intermountain Healthcare says this therapy suppresses the immune system, killing some of the normal immune cells, which they expect will come back over time.
We take a virus and we hollow it out so it can't be infectious, and it just becomes like a bus. And we put inside that virus all the DNA that we need to tell the cell how to make an antenna to recognize the cancer.
It's a one-time infusion. Hunter says 70 to 80% of patients will respond to some degree to CAR T. 50 to 55% will have total eradication of their cancer. At LDS Hospital, he says 79% of patients are showing disease improvement and 64% don't show any sign of the disease post-treatment.
I love doing dishes.
Rodney is now cancer-free and back to the active life he loves.
It's fun.
5 years ago, he walked 500 miles across northern Spain. This spring, he's going back.
It's the miracle of being cancer-free. Literally saved my life.
For Your Life, Your Health, Heather Simonson, KSL 5 News.
Thanks, Heather. Doctors say most patients tolerate this therapy better than chemotherapy. Side effects can include fever, fast heart rate, blood pressure, and low blood oxygen.
Most patients going through chemotherapy for cancer treatment might expect to lose their hair, but now that's not always the case. Some patients can choose to wear scalp cooling devices during chemotherapy to help minimize the amount of hair they lose. Cold liquid circulates through the cap, slowing the metabolic rate of the hair. The cap also decreases the amount of blood flow to the hair follicles, lessening exposure to chemotherapy. Doctors say for patients, keeping their hair maintains a sense of self and normalcy.
It allows them to exist with their families, with their friends, when they're out in public, and even just when they look in the mirror and they're the only one there, they still get a glimpse of the person that they were and that they still are.
Doctors say patients who use the treatment often get back to their normal activity sooner. It's not an option for all cancer patients. Talk to your doctor for more information.
And sometimes it's getting out of bed and making breakfast just because you're so tired.
Coming up, quality of life, how a new approach to cancer treatment is helping one woman gain a sense of normalcy. But first, a man who's never met his doctor in person and why that doesn't bother him one bit. Stick around. Welcome back. Anyone familiar with cancer treatments knows it involves lots of doctor's appointments.
Yeah, making that same drive several times a week can be grueling. Ashley Moser explains how technology is sparing patients those repeated trips and offering them a better quality of life.
You're not smiling.
What's the matter?
Can you smile?
80-year-old Frank Severson enjoys a slice of heaven in Charleston, Utah.
Where would you want to go that's any nicer than this? So we stay right here.
Nestled in the Heber Valley.
Yeah, we get up in the morning and look out and the hills are all red. And, wow.
He's been there for nearly 60 years.
I don't like going back to the city very much. Too much traffic, too many people, too much hustle and bustle.
When he was diagnosed with metastatic melanoma last June,
My brain and my lungs and my kidney.
The idea of driving to Salt Lake for doctor appointments was less than appealing, especially during treatment.
And if I was on something that made me sick, how am I going to get home, you know?
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Instead, Severson started telehealth appointments at Heber Valley Hospital, only 4 miles from his home.
And that saves me an hour and a half each way.
Are you using that cream?
Intermountain Healthcare's Dr. David Gill video chats Severson from his office in Murray.
Now we can offer all of those same tests, labs, and subspecialty care, but just a couple minutes away from home rather than that long drive.
He relies on video consultations.
We have really state-of-the-art technology that can zoom in so close we can even see the date on a quarter.
And train nurses to give Severson regular infusion treatments in Heber.
And this way I can talk to him for the 20 minutes or whatever that I would at the office, and we've got it done.
Giving him freedom.
I can do some more traveling. I can go more places.
And quality time with his 4 great-grandkids.
They're growing, and I want to be around to see them. Big step. Oop, oop.
For Your Life, Your Health, Ashley Moser, KSL 5 News.
It's such a significant life journey. It's really an honor to be a part of it.
Still ahead, a relatively new member of the cancer team helping guide patients along their journey. But first, how a woman who had more than 50 tumors in her lungs and more on her brain has found a way to still love life. Intermountain Healthcare teams are now relying on collective wisdom to help them treat difficult cancers in patients. It's called a tumor board, a meeting where multiple providers put their brains together to talk about specific cancer cases. They bring doctors, surgeons, pathologists, nurses, dietitians, and genetic counselors together to help with complex cases.
It's almost like a virtual second opinion. They're able to rely on the local physician teams or cancer teams that are there to help take care of those patients, but they're able to also leverage the system-wide expertise.
Tumor boards help providers stay at the forefront of cancer treatment. Patients can request that their cases be discussed.
Over the last several decades, doctors have become really good at treating cancer. And now, through recent medical advancements and therapies, they're getting better at giving patients their life back.
One Salt Lake woman shares why she's grateful her doctor keeps her quality of life top of mind.
Let's get your blood pressure really quickly.
For 48-year-old Erica Merrill,
Oh my gosh, there's so much to do, and there's so many different people.
simply living life
I love life.
is enough to make her happy. Just weeks before the pandemic,
And he came in and said I had stage 4 cancer.
it had metastasized nearly everywhere, including her brain and lungs.
Like I had over 50 tumors in my lungs. They looked like bubble wrap.
Merrill was determined not just to live,
So what do I need to do? Because we're going to fight this.
but to preserve her quality of life.
How much can I go through and still be me and not feel like I've lost who I am as a person? Hard.
And then I can fuse the MRI.
Intermountain Healthcare radiation oncologist Dr. Jaden Evans started stereotactic radiosurgery as opposed to whole brain radiation, which used to be the standard.
You're giving very high doses right into the tumor, and you're just avoiding all the normal tissue. So it's targeting that spot precisely.
This targeted radiation therapy protects her neurocognitive function.
Ability to recall facts or words or recall memories.
Including executive functions.
You know, doing simple things like remembering to pay your bills or, you know, grocery lists.
It lets me be me still because we're only targeting the tumors. We're not targeting the healthy spots in my brain.
All those spots that we treated have gone away. We want to get rid of the cancer to the point where we're still maintaining the highest quality of life.
Merrill also started rehabilitation therapy.
Going through all of the treatments that you do, you lose a lot of the muscle in your body.
To sustain her body.
They make sure that you're being safe. They teach you how to use the machines. I got stronger, like way stronger, and I was able to walk easier.
So Merrill can enjoy life.
And I love outdoors. I love the beach. I love the mountains.
With her family.
And I love life. I want to live whatever life I can in the time that I've been given.
What an inspiration there for us all. Well, many young people undergoing cancer treatment risk the ability to have children in the future. Chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery can damage the reproductive system. A new law passed by the Utah legislature and signed by Governor Cox this year now allows for Medicaid to cover the cost of fertility preservation treatments, offering hope to those who want to become parents one day.
A cancer diagnosis can often lead to a hard, complicated journey, and a patient often needs someone to help guide them. They need a navigator. Photojournalist Peter Rosen explains.
Everyone needs a little help sometimes, finding their way.
I felt lost for about 4 days.
Suzanne Houghton did when, at the beginning of the pandemic, a short time after she'd lost a sister, she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
It felt like the world was collapsing, and then I felt like my own world was collapsing.
Navigator.
She got help from a nurse navigator, Nancy Swanson.
A navigator is one of the first contacts with a patient when they're newly diagnosed with cancer. And we literally help our patient get from point A to Z.
She's navigated me through surgeries, through chemotherapy. It was all laid out for me. This is what Nancy and I went through. I had a treatment guide, I had a calendar, how to manage fatigue. She's always been there for me.
Cancer is like...
Swanson knows what cancer patients go through because she's been through it herself.
It's like a really dark cloud that can have a beautiful silver lining if you will let that happen.
Houghton remembered her dad, who died when she was a teenager and who faced his heart problems and his medical team with a smile.
And I remember thinking, okay, if Dad could do this, so can I. I have a hard time saying that I wish this hadn't have happened because it has ultimately changed my life.
Houghton says this journey from diagnosis to the end of chemo and radiation therapy has changed her for good.
I've been changed for good because of the people that I've met.
Because of people like a nurse navigator who showed her the way. Peter Rosen, KSL 5 News.
Thanks, Peter. Coming up, an update on the newest cancer centers under construction right here in Utah. In addition to new treatments, access to care is becoming more available with the construction of 2 new cancer centers.
Yeah, the new Intermountain Primary Children's Hospital Lehigh campus is scheduled to open in early 2024 with a cancer infusion center. McKay-Dee Hospital in Ogden also broke ground on a new cancer center. They will open in the fall of 2023.
And does it for us. We'll see you at 10 o'clock tonight.